Hello everyone, welcome back to a new replay cast. Today, after digging for years in the deepest dungeons of the world, I managed to find this beauty, which is going to be in the top right spawning as the red Zerg, Clash's Reynor, and in the bottom left, the loot Terran is going to be Heromarine. So, these two guys, of course, I think they have a lot of history with each other. They play each other a lot, whether that be online in tournaments or they played a couple of times offline as well. I remember some WCSs last year where Reynor managed to snatch the win out of Heromarine's hands. But Heromarine is one of those guys you always got to be careful with. He's extremely consistent. He knows his theory very well. He's one of those guys that just knows a lot about the game. Like, he's difficult to all in. He always gets solid setups into the mid game, and from there on out he will most of the time with a single push or a series of pushes try to end you, and he's really quite good at it. He's very consistent what he does. He barely ever loses to a player worse than them, and every now and then he beats a player a little bit better than him, which I definitely count Reynor as a player a little bit better than him, right? Reynor, of course, second at the last BlizzCon. Only losing to Dark, but managing to beat Serral there. So, Reynor's one of those guys you got to be real careful with, right? You give him a finger, and not only does he take the hand, but he grabs your hand, takes your arm, and he eats it. That's Reynor for you. You just got to be careful with those guys. Just like that, your arm is gone. Oh, some decent micro coming out of Reynor. Will turn one of his drones into a spore as his third base got blocked by this SCV. No eBay block whatsoever. We've been seeing that a lot lately, where Terrans will start building an engineering bay on the opponent's base to block it. And then the queen needs to walk there, and it takes an awfully long time. Oh, we see two queens moving forward here. We'll be trying to kill that SCV. Oh, and here comes that eBay that I was talking about. Luckily for Heromarine, he can start it after he starts the starport, so no real delay on that starport, which is obviously a very nice thing. Now, Queen will be able to chase away the Reaper, and then the Lynx can start attacking the eBay. And as Heromarine sees that, he will be going for some kind of dive on the unit. Oh, very poor micro by him actually. Got very close. Hits himself with the grenade as well. This should be a cancel, and it is indeed a cancel, and the third base goes down at 328. Overlord speed is on the way. We see, ooh, Banshee? Looks to be Hellion Banshee, so will be a CC on the low ground later on as well. Oh, we see a Viking. So this might be fake cloak, or it could just be single Viking into Banshee. It's difficult to say sometimes. It is difficult to say, even if you're watching everything carefully. Like, only until you see what the second unit is going to be can you know. Now, we do have those Hellions on the map. Heromarine not too keen on moving out. Reynor known for his run-bys, so if you move out with nothing at home, yeah, it can be a little bit difficult. This is going to be a Banshee follow-up, so just wants to start Cloak early. Now, it gets spotted immediately by Reynor. We have a second tech lab on the way as well. Looks to be going into Stim. So no mech coming out of Heromarine, who has some of his units on the other side of the map, is just idling with them, doesn't want them to take any damage, or perhaps is just busy doing other things. Of course, also possible. Viking gets 2 overlords already, which is a good deal, especially because they have overlord speed. So not only did Reynor waste 100, or use 100 in overlord speed, he also lost 2 overlords, so that's an expensive little hobby he has there. Now, Heromarine trying to catch some of the creep tumors, does manage to do that. 6 Hellions now. Ooh, it's going to be factory. So it's not going to be a tech lab for Stim, it's going to be a tech lab for Hellion Cyclone. We're most likely going to be seeing some kind of mech play here out of Heromarine, as Reynor is blissfully unaware of that right now. Of course, he saw that tech lab being built on the barracks. He's assuming it's going to be a bio follow-up. A couple of Hellions trying to move forward. Doing some damage on those queens, but honestly shouldn't be able to do too much. There's so many queens here. Creep threat away from the third isn't that big, but there's a decent creep rate over here, which is now being cleaned up by Heromarine. Heromarine doing a completely fine job here, I have to admit. Now, showing 8 Hellions might indicate that it is mech indeed, because usually Heromarine doesn't like building more than 6 Hellions before adding those barracks and then switching a barracks with the factory on the reactor. Now, once Hellion 9 and 10 join, that's going to be 100%. Reynor will know, okay, this is mech, but even now he can see it as Reynor is trying to move forward, tries to go for the Banshee, gets 2 of the Hellions. Ooh, we'll have to pay for that as well, as he loses 3 queens, 3 Hellions for 2 queens. It's going to be 8 Hellions for 3 queens and 4 links. So very bad start here for Heromarine, who just got caught a little bit too deep, too greedy trying to kill some queens. And now Straight will lead with this Banshee, will lead this Overseer to his base, and this Overseer as well. Now that I'm here anyway, I might as well, right? Might as well pop by for a bit, get a cup of tea. Oh, factories. Let's see if there will be any response from Reynor. I know Reynor is big on the Mutaling Vein response against mech. I'm not sure if that's still the case against Hellion Cyclone or more against Hellion Tank mech. As we see Infernal Pre-Igniter finishing, as well as Centrifugal Hooks, so known as the Blue Flame Hellion upgrade for the Terran, and the Bailing Speed for the Zerg. Very funny, sometimes when people tell me the upgrade name of an upgrade, I don't really know what the upgrade does. If you would say Infernal Pre-Igniter, like I don't immediately make the connection to Hellions, but Blue Flame, I know, it's the Hellion one. It's very funny how the upgrade names work like that. So we don't necessarily use the upgrade name for what it actually is, like the Adept Speed upgrade, which is obviously Resonating Glaives. Also things like that. Now we do have 10 more drones on the way. And we have Hydra Lurker. Huh. Hydra Lurker Bane, but with melee upgrades. That's quite interesting. Good surround here coming in. Oh my god, the ring is sick. What a setup here. What a man. Heromarine is getting absolutely donked on in this game. That's absolutely ridiculous. Units lost is very even. That's actually surprising to me. I really thought this would look way better here for Reynor. 17 Hellions have gone down. I guess he did lose a couple of queens, did lose those overlords early on. Links do cost a little bit, but damn, what a surround that was. That was really well done. This really gives away all map control that Heromarine has. And now he needs to play a little more of a passive game, and that's great for Reynor, because Reynor gets the drone up, right? Gets a couple of extra workers here. 3 extra workers on the way. We see the first lurkers being built. He can attack straight into Hive without having to worry about anything. His creep spread can flourish as there's nothing on the map. Banshee's just scouting for any potential, well, 6th bases, I guess.
Mineral field depleted.
Maybe Heromarine thinks this is where the 5th base will go, but the 5th base is in the middle. Macro Hedge is at the 3rd base, or located at the 3rd base. We have range upgrades coming out now. Okay, so after opening with melee +1, he now will be going in +1 ranged attacks, as well as +2 carapace. Yeah, so really transitioning into that Lurker army. That sounds quite interesting, honestly. Like, we don't see a lot of Lurker, especially against mech. Also, don't see it much against bio. We just don't see it a whole lot in any of the matchups except ZVZ. Every now and then an old Zerg might play some Lurker against Toss, but against Terran it's really rare. There was a period where we saw it just after the Grooved Spines, is that what they're called? The upgraded Lurker range, the +2 range. We saw them used a bit against Terran, but dropped very rapidly in Seismic Spines is what it's called. Dropped very rapidly in popularity. Not for Reynor apparently, who is also adding Banelings. I would love to see a 3rd Evo with this, right? 92 workers. And if you still want to be building Banelings, I might as well get some upgrades for them, because now we see only +2 range. I really think a 3rd Evo would have been worth it here, as he's maxed already as well. He has that rich Vespine geyser, so he's on 10 gases. Gas isn't really going to be the issue, as we have Adrenal Glands on the way, Seismic Spines, like I said earlier, to add that 2 range to the Lurkers. Lurkers are moving forward and get revealed right now. With Adaptive Talents, we'll be able to burrow extremely fast, but without Seismic Spines, they don't really have the range necessary to deal with tanks, I don't believe. There's no real anti-air here either. There is a turret providing vision. This is a bad engagement by Reynor. This was a waste of Lurker, quite frankly. And he decided to move out, but that was not the play for sure. So we do have +3 Carapace on the way. We have decent upgrades actually for Heromarine. It's on +2 right now. It's getting 3-2, or at least +3. It's +1 just finished. Okay, yeah, so he will be adding +2 vehicle plating most likely soon. Alien's trying to look for those Lynx and Banshees, or Lynx and Banelings. Lynx and Banshees. That's also a scary combination, especially if that comes out of a Zerg, but not quite what it is. We have 2 Vipers on the way. I believe there's 1 already. No, there's 2 already. Which will bring the total up to 2 + 2 is 4 Vipers. In combination with those Lurkers, that's a scary foresight here for Heromarine, who... He does have a mech army, right? It's a powerful army. There's some tanks, there's some Thors, but... Vipers are really the bane of the Terran's existence when they play mech. Just getting your units yoinked into Lurkers, into Hydras, hell, even into Lynx can be quite scary. Hello? What is this? The Triple Nydus action. This I haven't really seen before. I know Lurker is rare, but this is pushing it, isn't it? So the reason I can see why he do it, right? So the problem with Nidus a lot in the late game is just that it gets killed too easily by well upgraded units. So if you can build 3 at the same time, it's gonna take a while to kill all of them, right? And you see that first one in the back. I think it will finish actually. There's 2 going down. This one barely goes down as well actually. Wow. If he would have put it over here, it would have lived though. Yep, 3 more on the way in tank fire. It's an expensive hobby though, building Nidus is like this. I gotta admit as well, it's a really expensive hobby. But at the same time, he's pushing forward. I'm so mesmerized by these Niduses, and I think Heromarine was as well. It's like, a second, there's still just the main army at the front. Now I love 1 or 2 Niduses, one over here, so you can really quickly rotate between those bases and also rotate in and then into a main base. Because right now what happens is you need to have some units in the Nidus for it to be useful, right? But what you can do is if you have them in the front lines, you can just pop in and out whenever you want. I kind of like this style. I'm not sure if we're gonna see much more of this in the future, because I think it's heavily reliant on playing against a very passive opponent. Of course, you don't want to be investing this much into Niduses if you're constantly under the threat of an attack, but I do like it. Here comes some Lynx. We'll try to jump tanks and decide perhaps not worth it. I'm not sure what these 2 Overseers are doing, but don't forget, every time he sends in these Overseers to look for Nidus positions as well, he's also really losing Overseers a lot. He lost 3 Overseers earlier. Now we do have a little bit. We have a decently sized engagement here. 2 Niduses into the natural, 1 Nidus into the third base. We'll end up finishing. Heromarine not paying attention whatsoever. There was a tank there. Lurkers can burrow. Don't do it, as there is some kind of fight happening on the map. Lurker move command. These Lurkers burrow quickly. There is some Niduses over here, but it's not really quite enough. A couple of Niduses being built in the main base. That should also get taken down by those Cyclones. Lurkers still in the back of here. Lurkers in the front. Lurkers in the front seat. Lurkers in the back seat. And Heromarine's gotta make his mind up. Which Lurkers does he take? There's now Lurkers in the main base as well. Which Heromarine really doesn't have much to deal. This is so silly. And there they go. And juggling into the next one. 2 Niduses over here. Hey, this is like the great disappearance act. Oh, slightly too close forward. I actually think he can move into those tanks with those Lurkers. And just like that. Okay, well, maybe he can. Never mind. Me and Reynor had a similar idea though, so Reynor was just as wrong as I was. I was like, yeah, I think I can do that as well, but no, you definitely can. Tanks have a little more DPS than these big boys make you believe sometimes. Crazy. Alright. So, Reynor, how many Niduses have we lost so far? 30 Niduses. 30 Niduses, that is mental. That's an expensive hobby right there. Oh, this also is an expensive hobby though, losing tanks for free. I don't think that's really a hobby. A side effect of the hobby. That's called playing mech. Now, Jesus, how many lurkers? 17 lurkers. There's a bunch of links, there's a bunch of vipers. Well, there's 2 vipers. Oh, lurker moving forward like this. It looks so scary, but they do so much damage. And every single time a tank gets pulled, he just dies. Does this planetary just fall? I think it just barely might not, as Heromarine grabs a lot of SCVs to start repairing it. This game is insane. The Lingbane Lurker Nidus Viper. I've seen a lot of StarCraft. Right? I've been watching StarCraft, I've been playing StarCraft for over 10 years, but this I have not seen before. I have to admit, I have not seen this before. Oh, Banelings running in. I mean, it is cool to watch because the Banelings do so well against, well, not planetaries, but against links or against SCVs. They do okay against planetaries. Lurkers are great at that stuff as well. And he's very mobile with his army, not only because of the Nidus, but there's always a real threat of the Lurkers coming somewhere. And then there's also always a real threat of the Link Bane coming somewhere. Just, it feels like Heromarine needs to prepare for different things. And it doesn't look like he's ever quite ready. He does have a lot of sensor towers. He's scanning ahead. He's getting extra orbital commands right now. There's 11 factories. Jesus. There's 2 more on the way. There seems to be 13 factory production. Like he's producing out of 5 at the moment. I don't quite understand why he's adding 2 more, honestly. I mean, he has good income, 3,800 a minute, but 13 factories. That means if you build tanks out of all of them, you get what, like 60 supply per click? That's insane. That's like Zerg remaxing. Still slightly worse, but that's absolutely crazy. We haven't seen a Nidus in a while. The Triple Nydus Wombo combo hasn't been used too much. Reynor perhaps realizing that was a bit too expensive. Creep spread has been suffering under this run by heavy style. Now here wants the Lingbane Lurker Viper moving in. You can't really... Yeah, no, you can. I was gonna say you can't really yoink tanks into this. There's only 2 Lurkers, but Lurkers have pretty decent DPS. We do have some Cyclones. Locking onto one of the Vipers. Get it immediately. There's 5 Vipers over here. I'd love to see some hold position Viper micro. Just put like 5 Vipers over here. And when he walks through the throat, bam! Goner. Just like that. Oh, Heromarine actually getting a little bit aggressive here. See him move forward with Thors. Now, what will the defense look like here for... Yeah, okay, this defense just looks too powerful. Now look how many units there is. Oh my god. Just gonna move in, couple of blinding clouds, getting casted, and a yoink here, a yoink there, and boom, just like that, 30 supply down. Luckily, he does have a lot of factories ready. He's also starting ghost production right now. Hop, yoink yoink. These are fantastic trades. Reynor still down in trades overall, but like these last 30 seconds have been absolutely fantastic, and he's gonna push the issue a little bit here. Moving forward with those Lurkers, with those Hydras. Vipers low on energy, will be heading back home. And Lurkers by themselves are good, but Lurkers with Vipers is of course the real combination here that we've been seeing do so well in all of these engagements. It's something that Reynor really needs to keep in mind, is that these Lurkers haven't been fighting by themselves, and they really shouldn't be. I like the call of going back there. Triple Nydus still in action. At this point, Reynor might think, alright, I think I'm far enough ahead again that I can start using the Niduses, because you need a lot of money in the bank for that. You just need a lot of money in the bank. He has 9 Lurkers on the way. He has a bunch out already, 6 to 7, 7. So we'll be going up to 16 lurkers. There's still 6 vipers as well. Link's trying to get us around on those cyclones. Will not quite get it. Jesus, there's so many lurkers. There's actually so many lurkers. I'd love to see the Nidus being used one more time. For old time's sake. Vipers joinking in a couple of tanks once again. Oh, gotta be... Hello. No control on the ghost whatsoever. Is there shockwave? Ooh, shockwave hasn't been researched yet. Or enhanced shockwave. Once that enhanced shockwave is out, these vipers will have a way harder time dealing with this. But for now, they're still gonna be fine. Good blinding clouds being casted. Couple of yoinks. No yoinks here. Just blinding clouds all around. Oh, and we see the unit loss is getting so close right now. As Reynor moves forward, inches forward. Takes down this planetary, takes down the middle base. Heromarine in a little bit of trouble here. Heromarine is in a little bit of trouble. He's losing mining bases. He's losing planetaries, most importantly. He still has plenty of orbitals, of course. As he is on 6 orbital commands. Which can fly anywhere he wants. He has 1 extra command center as well, which he can probably... He wants to use to get this base eventually, right? Here we have Reynor going for this bottom side. This does not seem to be the play that he's looking for, though, as there is cyclones in position. Decent scan coming out of Heromarine, who... He's just struggling to stay alive. He's back at 197 supply, but no bank whatsoever to speak of. I like this move. This is a good move. This is the first time in what feels like 8 or 9 minutes where we've actually seen some harass rather than a straight up attack from here. And of course we had that straight up attack through the middle. Oh, we have the 3-2. 2 Nidus in the main base, all at the entrance though, so we'll be able to get taken out. 20 workers die here for Reynor. This was a really good fight. Here's the Hellions back into the... Or Hellbats back into Hellions, and boom! Manages to escape. Burrow is on the way for Reynor as well. I am kind of digging the... what Heromarine did just now. Look at the income here for Reynor, who's not rebuilding any workers. Only has 61 workers left. This is going to be the bank he's going to be working with. And that's kind of gonna be it. Now his army is going to be absolutely massive, don't get me wrong. His army is absolutely massive. There's 3 Niduses on the way. Planetary will fall. Yeah, this is the problem for Heromarine. He might do some damage on the other side of the map, but he just doesn't have the defense. He's not dealing with these Niduses whatsoever. For now it's just a couple of Links and a couple of Hydras, but I can know the Lurkers are coming. The Saints are coming indeed. There is a couple of Ghosts, but you're gonna need more than just 2 Ghosts to deal with what is about 3 Nidus at the same time being used. That is actually insane. I've never seen this before. Lurkers moving forward, trying to get as much damage as they can. Heromarine just does not have the means to deal with these Niduses. Kinda forgot about them most likely, like Reynor did for the better part of 10 minutes. They were like, you know what, the Nidus, not really my thing. Decided not to go with it, but now all of a sudden, complete infrastructure of Heromarine is getting wiped out. There's a couple of factories outside. I want to say 3, 4. There's a couple of barracks here, but I mean, if there was 13 factories and there's only 3 outside, some quick math leads me to believe there were 10 factories in the main base. If you lose 10 factories, that's a big problem. That is a problem. Your production is gonna suck, my friend. Hey, what is there still here for Heromarine? He's struggling trying to keep his main base alive. He struggled to keep this base alive, but that didn't work. Now there's an orbital over here in this practically mined out base. You have this middle base, which is also an orbital. No gas being mined. He has 300 gas income per minute. Now Reynor's gas income also isn't too hot. Reynor actually is rather poor, so even though he's been, you know, his trades have been evening out, Heromarines harass here at the top base really did a lot for denying Reynor's mining. The problem, of course, being that there's no defenses whatsoever to speak of here for Heromarine, as Reynor pushes in, and it's not quite the last mining base, but this top base is, and it's not even a planetary yet. There's no tanks on this top side. There's 1. GG gets called. Reynor wins the game. If you did enjoy this, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Helps me a lot. Smash that like button. And I'll see you all tomorrow for a new video. Bye bye.